A very good morning to you. Welcome to Good Morning Anambra on the first day of October 2024. Happy Independence Anniversary. I think that's good to go. Okay, thank you very much for joining us. And I like to believe that you had a very peaceful night rest. Perhaps that's why you are already seated and watching. Welcome. My name is Ijoma Uche. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll review the papers that are available for us today. Have you back. It is still Good Morning Anambra, and this morning we are cut out for press review. And I have an analyst that has joined me. He is Sajeri Obodo. Sajeri Obodo is a public affairs analyst. Good to have you here, sir.
Thanks for having me, IJ. Nigerians, Anambra, happy independence to you all.
Okay, happy independence from you,
You're
from
welcome.
me to you. And the happy independence from the special crew of Good Morning Anambra to you all. Okay, yeah, like you know, we start with some news making the round from our website this morning. The first one, today is October, of course, 1st October, and we'll have a lot of stories to commemorate the day. So we start with the independence anniversary. Anambra State Assembly Speaker Udeze optimistic Nigerians will overcome economic hardship as the first in our website through this morning. And then we have independence anniversary. Human rights activist Ochije Modelem calls for collective efforts to move country forward. Okay, and then local government election. Agulez the Chupu Improvement Union congratulates of 4BK on landslide victory. And then Anambra State Assembly Deputy Speaker Okoye Dennis vehicle and bags surprise to constituents. Lastly, Nigeria's 64th independence celebration, IGP orders tight security, felicitates with the citizens. I wanted to ask, is it tight security that you first of all talk about than wishing us happy independence? But it's still okay. We are here. Okay, Sajeri Obodo, let's start with the Anambra State House of Assembly Speaker asking Nigerians to be optimistic, exercise patience, that things will really turn around with time. Yeah.
Well, only time will tell. I don't know how long the time we reach the time. You know, at 64, one would have expected that we shouldn't be where we are today. But you know, it's only the dead that has no hope. But as long as there's life, you know, you continue to have hope. But the issue is, what are the tangible, you know, signs that shows that your hope will come to manifestation? That is the only thing that I'm, you know, skeptical about. You know, by now, one should have, you know, expected that if we are hovering over 4,000 megawatts of electricity since independence, it should have gone up to not less than 20, you know, 1,000 megawatts, so that by now, or we should be near everywhere in the country 24 hours electricity supply. By now, nobody should be talking of estimated billing, because it's extortionist to the people. People are billed, you know, where they did not consume anything. So Prepaid meter should have been for everybody. Should be flooded in the market at the beck and call of people, so that people will pay as they consume. By now, one should have expected, and it will help the industry to to survive and break even,
Okay.
and make their products cheap.
Okay.
So many things to talk about.
So many things to talk about, but we just have to move for want of time. Okay, local government election, Agles Improvements Union, Congress, let's for 4BK on landslide victory. Let's look at the outcome of the local government in totality. Local government election that was held on Saturday, the 28th day of September. Let's review it generally.
Okay. Yeah, it was generally peaceful, and and the INEC, barring some lapses here and there, is credible. Just some in some areas, late arrival of the materials, but otherwise, it's very, very, is giving a good mark.
Okay.
Really, the APGA is on ground, so it will be like a camel passing through the needle of our eye, that other parties will do upturn APGA in the state. So the APGA is on ground on the state, and that you're on ground doesn't mean that if you go to sleep, other parties may take over. But for now, the governor is doing a good job for the state, and people are seeing it. That's why they are still voting for APGA. That's my take on that.
Okay, the general overview is that the election was credible.
Credible, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then just last night, the announcement came from the INSEC. The result was that what do you call it? APGA took all the local government chairmanship positions. Yeah. Okay. Now
one councillor won for another party.
Okay, yes. No, I'm talking about the chairmanship.
Okay. Yeah,
and then what is the expectations, or rather, what do we expect from the mayors that occupy the seats of local governments now?
Yeah, what I expect from them is, as soon as they are sworn into, hit the ground running, and show a clear departure from what we have before now. Now that they're elected, they are chief executives of the local government. And thank God that federal government and the Attorney General of the Federation went to court to obtain autonomy. So one should be expecting accountability and transparency from them. Whatever federation account that comes into every local government, whatever internally generated revenue that accrues to them, should be used judiciously to serve the people. In fact, this time is going to be I-marked, not earmarked. People will see the impact of the local government. And I want to caution that that EFCC will come after them as they are coming after the governors. If they just mismanage or misappropriate the funds accruing to them, EFCC will be on them, IPCPC will be on them. So I advise them to make a clear departure and make a statement, the reason why there's need for a grassroots administration.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Let's finally look at the instruction from the IGP, Nigerian 64th Independence Celebration. IGP orders tight security and felicitates for citizens. Okay, we know that that's going to be pockets of protests here and there today, as the NLC, the civil society organization, and a whole lot of them are gearing up to protest based on the situation of things in the country, that it does appear we are not making any progress And there's hunger in the land. The leadership of that is in power is not addressing some of these problems. So that's exactly why some of them plan to hit the streets today on a protest. And now IGP is warning them. Of course, he has ordered for a tight security, and then before he was able to wish us happy independence. So what do you have to say?
Yeah, if you don't have any skeleton in your cupboard, you know, you shouldn't be getting jittery, you know. For the fact that they're getting jittery, and it means all is not well, you know. I remember growing up, we always look forward to Nigeria's independence, from primary even to secondary school. In fact, it was regarded as another Christmas. Growing up, we always look forward to it, very happy, rejoicing, eating rice here and there. People were happy. But these days, nobody is happy. You know, the ASU is on the wings of going on strike. Doctors strike here and there, resident doctors. So many things are not going well. And my problem is that the leaders are behaving as if all is well, when all is not well. When you are telling the people to tighten their belt, you should be the first to tighten your belt. That's my worry. So, you are telling them that because the economy is bad, we need to scale down, and one will expect that you shouldn't appoint 40-something ministers. At least you cut down the cost of governance. People have been saying this. The president should have at least go for between 15 to 20 ministers. No minister of state of that and that and that. Those things show that you have surplus. That's why you are having a bogus or over-bloated, ministers. You acquire, jets. You acquire yash. You are not ready to cut down on, your travels overseas with all the extra codes and all that. This is, it's not something to write home about, and that's why people are, agitated. Why should the leaders be telling us to cut down or tighten the belt, but they are not tightening? So, I hold them very responsible for that aspect. He should, for security reasons, the IGP, we should be talking on that. But if all things are equal, I can tell you that nobody will go to streets or go on streets for any kind of protest. It should be a joyous moment. Like I told you, growing up, it was a joyous moment. We always look forward to independence. In fact, it was called Independa in those days. It was a joyous moment. People move freely, enjoying themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Let's now look at the papers that we'll have this morning. We'll have the Daily Times, we'll have Vanguard, we'll have Punch. Others are still on the way. But we'll start with available ones now. And Daily Times is the first paper in our lineup this morning. On the front page of the Daily Times, we'll have Nigeria at 64, NLC, PDP, Atiku, Bimon, state of polity. Let's look at the riders too. Nigerians must continue to demand accountability from their leaders. This is coming from NLC. Resist APC totalitarianism, exploitation, PDP tells Nigerians. While at 64, Nigeria lacks political inclusivity, free, fair elections, says Atiku. A whole lot of people talking. And down here, Tinubu swears injustice, Kekere Ekum, as CJN pledges to preserve sanctity of judiciary. Okay, we keep our fingers crossed and see how you preserve the sanctity of judiciary in a state like this. Okay, 64th independence, IGP orders watertight security nationwide. And here, troops eliminate 8 terrorists, rescue 40 hostages. Army says that. Okay, that's good to hear. And then the last story we have coming from this paper says 64th independence, middle belt minorities demand secession from North and others. Another wahala springing up from nowhere. Okay, we still have one story of interest. Protecting Nigeria's solid mineral resources requires collaborative approach. This is coming from CDS. And I think that's all we're taking from this paper. Let's look at the Vanguard newspaper, please. Vanguard newspaper is our next paper to review. Okay, protest, police talk tough, organizers allege intimidation. I would, too much riders there. Let's see if we can make sense from any of them. Nobody is harassing organizers. This is coming from federal government. IGP orders watertight security nationwide. AIG Igwe warns against protest. What does that supposed to mean? And then says miscreants, chies want to hijack process. We are all Nigerians anyway. We won't allow protest or procession in Abuja. FCT command, okay, deploys anti-riot officers, equipment, counter-explosive personnel. To do what? To attack citizens of Nigeria. Okay, no going back on protest anyway, despite intimidation. Who said this one? That's coming from Showere. Okay, keep away from parks. Keep away from ports. Labor wants miscreants, protesters. Northern coordinators pull out. Okay, CSOs divided. Nigeria is a funny place. CSOs divided in a Do Oshun group mobilizes residents. Coalition kicks against protests in Kaduna. Okay, all these are under the story. The banner headline coming from the Vanguard newspaper, protest. Police talk tough. Organizers allege intimidation. Okay, and down here we'll have these other stories. Food crisis. We are focused on eliminating terrorists, bandits. This is coming from Tinubu. While we are battling food crisis, the president said that he is focused on eliminating terrorists and bandits, okay, at least so that the farmers can go back to the farms. I want to believe that's what he means by that, okay? And then any other story of interest here? Rivers local government poll, conflicting order bars INEC from releasing voters register to RCEC, okay? CJN swears in Esan, Obani, Atijon, 84 others as SANs. Banditry. Experts faults Governor Lawal's allegation against Matawale. Okay, and from the sports angle, we'll have this one, Dominican Republic. Olowo Kere names 13 goal Chidi in under 17 World Cup squad. Any other story of interest here? None available. Okay, let's look at the third paper, which is the Punch newspaper before we start talking. Punch seems to be less busy this morning with just one headline on the front page and with this big advert there. Okay, what is it? Nigeria at 64, we must reform or collapse. This is coming from Tinubu. CSOs vow to go on with the protest. That's all coming from Punch newspaper this morning. Okay, surgery. Let's generally look at Nigeria at 64. Okay, 64 years. 64 years. I'm trying to look. I remember somebody that is 64 and maybe visualize how the person looks like. Let's see if we can from there know exactly what Nigeria should look at this point in time. Yes, Let's look at Nigeria.
Well, already I've mentioned some things that are not, something to write home about with our age. I mean, with the age of Nigeria at 64. I mentioned that at 64, that we shouldn't be talking of epileptic power supply. That by now, we've been hearing of 4,000 megawatts since Nigeria. One should have been talking of about between 25 to 30,000 megawatts. In advanced climes, you are talking of some 75,000, 200,000. So it helps the industries to stabilize and break even, produce their goods, and make people, lay hands on cheap articles and goods. Then you talk of good drinking water, a tap water, treated water with chlorine and all that. By now, Nigeria shouldn't be talking of people not having access to pipe-borne water. There are some diseases associated with water. In some states, they still drink from the ponds and from all that, and you see a lot of diseases, epidemics, as a result of lack of good drinking water. So at 64, we shouldn't be talking about people not having access to pipe-borne water. Now, at 64, Nigeria, if all things are equal, by economics, we shouldn't be talking about Nigerians sending their children or wards to neighboring countries for education, for university education, if we have our house in order. If our educational system is stable, we shouldn't be talking about sending our kids or wards to like Ghana or this Kenya. It's very disheartening. If you have fewer universities that are very well equipped, with all the technologies, with all the machines and everything, good learning environment, not some universities that looks like a glorified secondary schools, So at 64, if our leader, I said they are rulers, but leaders, they think what they can do for the people and for the country, not for their selfish aggrandizement, what they can amass at the detriment of the people. They are parasitic, most of the rulers, So if at 64, the universities looks like a glorified secondary school, that we are not, we are not there.
Okay, let's
at
look at
64, the university teachers themselves is very unstable. I can tell you that a friend who sent his child to university abroad graduated and did masters and secured work and and was doing his PhD, while his mate in Nigeria was still in his third year, or second year, because of instability in the school system. So many strikes, truncating the graduation time for the students. At 64, we shouldn't be talking about that. And even the ASU is on the wings of going on another strike. So all these gamut.
Yeah, I know there are problems everywhere, all over the world. But I know. Let's quickly look at how some of our people are looking at Nigeria as 64. That's NLC, PDP, I think would be more state of polity. Okay, the situation of things in the country. And talking about PDP, would you say that PDP is a good opposition, judging from what APC, how APC gave them run for their lives when the PDP was in power? Now it does appear we don't even have any loud opposition. Then there was, if you ask me, there was not much to talk about. And now, when there are a whole lot of things going wrong and nobody is talking the way they're supposed to be talking, are they just waiting for independence to talk? Okay. I think why things are like this in this country, because we don't have good political party opposition that will always remind the party in power that things are going out of hand. Just like the way APC gave it to PDP, to Jonathan era, and when they were in power.
Yeah.
So now that PDP is talking and saying that Atiku is saying that it's beyond the state of polity, is it just for today?
Yeah, most of these guys, rulers, they're just there to capture the power. And if you capture power, what do you do with it? That's the problem. They are not prepared well with a good manifesto. It's just to grab power. The only person I can say that is even making an impact, always on the government, federal government, is Peter Obi, Mr. Peter Obi. He's always on them. Any policy they come up with, he will analyze it and criticize constructively, and even even give a solution to what they can do. But because of some ulterior motives, they jettison.
No, Peter Obi is an individual. I'm looking at the political parties. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Peter Obi is an individual. Where are their, what do they call them? Where are their publicity secretaries or whatever? That these are the people that we hear from the party that project the interest of the party, or the party's ideologies, or the party's stance in a particular situation. So it is party talks, not Peter Obi talks, or not individual article, or that kind of a thing. Okay. So this is the kind of thing that we experienced when PDP was
I see your point. Even when this guy...
So the parties have all gone to...
the publicity secretary was everywhere. Why they call him liar. But it was Lai Mohammed. He was always everywhere, criticizing then PDP and all that. I see what you mean. They don't have such thing now.
Okay, let's look at what is brooding in the Middle Belt now. Yeah. The Middle Belt minorities demand secession from the North and others. Who are the others? Are they actually saying they demand secession from Nigeria, that they want to become a nation of their own? So how do you see that coming up on Independence Day?
Well, it's not a new thing. You have Odua, demanding. You have IPOB, MASOP demanding. Now the Middle Belt Forum side demanding. What are they demanding? To be self-governed. Why? Because the center cannot hold, and things are falling apart. And, the people there, feel that, well, since I'm benefiting, I don't give attention to whatever they are doing, There was a call for regional government, so that we go back to where we are before now. There's a deaf ear to that. A unitary system where everything is in Abuja, federal government, where everything is, dished out to states, making some states lazy, unproductive, very dependent, But with regional government, you saw East Central then, on their own, using what the resources they have to build universities, agriculture, palm oil, export, and all that. In the north, you have pyramids or granite pyramids and all that. So I think why you have such demands for self-government or secessionist people demand is because the things has fallen apart and the center cannot hold. So I've enumerated things that at 64 one shouldn't be, having in the country, but
Okay.
It's not there.
Okay, let's move on now. Let's look at this story from the Vanguard newspaper. Food crisis. We are focused on eliminating terrorists and bandits. This is coming from Tinubu saying that why you guys are busy crying for hunger, that this is what we are doing. Of course, if you want to solve a problem, you first of all look at the roots. If you are not able to produce enough food, maybe because the terrorists and the bandits have driven the farmers away from the farm. So once we attack them, once we get them down, the farmers will be able to get back to the farms and then start producing food. What do you think?
Well, yeah, on paper,
on paper, didn't you see what we read from the other side, where the army was telling us that they killed about 8 terrorists and then released some of their the people that are holding to hostage, and then a whole lot of things.
It's been, ding-dong affair.
You don't believe them?
No, since how many years now, what has transpired? They are just doing, the federal government at some point said they know the sponsors of this group. And they are there. You haven't gotten them and dealt with them. There's the terrorists themselves. They come from somewhere. After attack, they go somewhere. What is the federal government doing? Why not take the war to them? So all this is, like I said, on paper. Let's see what is going on, but it's not. They are not doing enough to, end this matter. It's been there for so many years now. So you just go for the source. The source means attacking them where they are and where they are coming from, not when they come out, attack, kill, maim. They go back to where they come from, and they also benefit from their kidnapping business. A lot of money are given to them, and that enables them to equip more. And also, the federal government, are not helping matters. If the terrorists can afford to buy AK-49, and you as a federal government, you are giving your officers AK-47. What does that tell you? It means that they have a superior power. So it's a deficiency on the federal government.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Rivers government, let's talk a little politics. Rivers local government poll, conflicting other bars INEC from releasing voters register to ISEC. I was going through that story last night somewhere, or in a site, and I was just asking myself, what the hell is going on with our judiciary? There's this order and counter order and just like that. Okay, when would the judiciary have, okay, this party will go there and get this order, this party will go to the same judiciary. You don't even respect yourself again, and I don't understand. Okay.
It's very unfortunate that they've degenerated so low, they should be ashamed of what they are doing, Interest, what interest of party A or party B? That is the matter. Why not look at the case on its merit. Look at the case on its merit and deliver judgment, which will stand the test of time. So that is what is, killing our judiciary.
Okay. And you had the CG and the KK that just came in, just sworn in Esan, Obani, Ati John, 84 others as SANs. And I hope as they come in, they're not going to continue from where others stop, because that's what we are facing in this country. That's the problem we are facing now, continue from where others stop, whether they stop the ground or not. You don't care. The fact is that I'm going to continue from where my predecessor stopped. Okay, let's see if we have... okay, you want to say something about this?
No.
Okay. Well, if you look at Punch newspaper, you see where the federal government, the renewed hope agenda, where they enumerated what they have been able to achieve since inception, 70%, 70,000 naira minimum wage, 3.5 billion naira Nigeria Consumer Credit Corporation, 37.7 billion naira foreign exchange, and a whole lot of things. You pick your punch and you go through. Some of them are not very clear. And another story we have is that Nigeria is for we must reform or collapse. This is coming from Tinubu. So what does it mean by that reform? I know there are so many things on the table now. There's this regionalization, restructuring of the system to let it run better. And the other time, we were even asking, was there really any bill in the National Assembly for regionalization? Though we heard from the northern side that they say that it's a cake. The regionalization is a cake. You don't go back to that we have practiced that before. And then that will have to move on. And some people are asking them, well, will you want to compare Nigeria when we are in this regionalization era to this period when we feel that we have gotten it all? Which era was better? So why, if you have made a mistake and then dabble into something you don't understand, also what is the, why will you feel bad, or why will you, what is restraining you from, retracing your step, okay, getting back to where you got it wrong and then make amends? Because that's one of the reasons that we are suffering today. You remove fuel subsidy, and then the whole economy collapsed. And you are doing a whole lot of things, spending too much money to ensure that you salvage this situation. But then, you know where the problem lies, okay? You know the mistake you made. Why don't you just reverse it? That's just what we're looking at while we'll celebrate Nigeria at 64. Would you want to say something before we conclude?
Yes, I quite agree with you there. All this in listed, all this whatever they said they have achieved, listed here, does not translate to standard of living of the man on the street. That's why the protest here and there, the secessionist group and all that. It's just elitist kind of enumeration here.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but as for the fuel subsidy that triggered off the hardship in the country,
we might need to carry that over,
okay.
Sir Jerry, because we're completely out of time now.
Okay.
So I'd like to thank you very much for joining us this morning, Sir Jerry Obodo. Thank you.
It's my honor being here on Nigeria 64. Let's hope that something different will happen to this country. Otherwise, we are not moving as expected.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear.
All right, that's where we're doing the Cotton and Press Review this morning. Join us as we move over to the other side to look at Nigeria at 64 properly. My name is Sijoma. God bless you.